Welcome to the Soul Touched by Dogs podcast, the show for dog lovers who see dogs not as toys or tools, but wise souls worth our respect and care. I'm Anke Herman, and I'm your host. I talk to awesome humans, people who do great work for dogs and their people. So come and join us for today's conversation. Welcome, Jeff. I'm super excited to have you here.
Thank you, Anka. I really appreciate being here, and I'm also super excited to play with you, get to play with you.
Awesome. So before we start playing, why don't you give us like the 2-minute overview? Where you're based, what's your business? What do you do?
I am a US-based Connecticut, about an hour outside New York City, based veterinarian. And I don't do private practice. I do an online, or what we're based in as an online community, trying to transfer information about molecular biology, individuality, and happiness in pets. So instead of focusing on individual disease symptoms and diagnoses, we focus on quality of life and happiness, and the community that we're going to talk a bit about is based on PEAM, which is a marker for quality of life.
Love it. So I would imagine, so you're a veterinarian, so you went to med school, you did your degree. What sparked the focus on the work you're doing now?
Great question. I got my degree first in molecular biology, then veterinary medicine, and what sparked what I'm doing now is me. Because I have a chronic degenerative brain disease and found that by focusing on the symptoms as we do in medicine, I wasn't doing as well as focusing on things like getting out in nature and cellular joy, being happy. There's a gentleman named Norman Cousins that wrote a book called Anatomy of an Illness, which is all about how he had this incurable, painful illness that he basically left away.
Wow.
And it's now being shown in research and science that laughter and happiness and awe and gratitude are all things that make us better physiologically, but our heads and our cognitive dissonance and our uncertainty about the future and the past and get in the way, but not with animals. So it's a joy to be doing this for years now, super successfully with animals, because there are very few animals that get in the way as much as we can get in the way of the animals.
That's all. I just love that. I mean, that whole sort of a more holistic approach, I think it feels the only thing that really makes sense, right? To just get away from the kind of little band-aid and just to kind of really. So how would you recognize, measure like happiness? Like, so how would I know whether my dog's happy?
Awesome. Thank you for that question. BEAM is an acronym for behavior, energy, appetite, and mood. And each one of those factors combine to give a BEAM score. So BEAM score above 8 or above is a dog or a cat or person, because I know people that are now using this for themselves, means that they're in balance internally and aligned and connected and happy and having a good life. The behavior. What does your dog or cat do when you come to the door? Do they want to be with you? Do they want to be off by themselves? Would they rather not engage? That's going to lower or increase the behavior part of that score. Energy. Do they get up all the time? Do they go to the door? Do they want to go on their walks? Do they tire quickly on their walks? Do they like 5 ball throws, or will they go? Sorry, my own dog thinks going out to play ball right now. Archie, Archie, Archie.
Okay.
Archie is so cute. But he's a great example of focusing on that approach because he's had a bunch named diseases that if we just monitor the diseases but focus on being, the disease symptoms tend to go away. The easiest part of being to measure is the appetite, because you can measure how long, are they anxious to eat? Will they eat whatever you offer? Do they finish their bowl? So we quantitate as much as we can. But at the same time, we measure and quantitate internal things like kidney values or liver values or other tests, because the body manifests balance both externally by beam and internally by measured symptoms.
Mm. That makes so much sense. So I remember when my dog Leo, like he crossed the bridge like 2 years ago when he was like 10 years old, like quite a few years ago now, he all of a sudden like couldn't get up, right? And I felt that I took him to the vet and they go, well, we've never seen this before. We have no idea what we're doing here. And what occurred to me was Reiki. I don't know. I had no idea. What I did is I bought a book on animal Reiki, and I mean, it wasn't that I didn't know how to feel I'd done yoga, I'd done Tai Chi, Qigong, all that stuff. So I kind of knew what it felt like. And I thought, well, okay, what's different about, and so anyway, I got this book and then I just kind of did what I like, well, I'm happy to report that this dog recovered despite vet's prognosis and he lived another almost 7 years happily. So yeah, there is so much there's so much there that isn't conventional knowledge, is there?
And you brought up a really, really, really important point. There's individuality, there's happiness, there's nature therapy, but Reiki and the energy, the body works by energy. When you're alive, you have energy. You're not alive, you don't. The gas tank is empty if you don't have the energy. So what Reiki does is harness that universal energy that we know is all around us, thanks to Einstein, telling us about the E equals mc squared. And all the studies since then, harnessing that energy is a way to address symptoms that can otherwise be addressed. And that energy is also the most sustainable and beautiful and easy to employ energy because that energy is also seen in love. Love is energy, and we often talk about love as the most sustainable form of energy, and our unconditional love with our animals is going to heal them, and it does heal them, like your dog story.
So you were talking about holistic actions, and obviously the link's going to be below here, wherever, if you're listening, it's in the show notes. If you're on the blog page, is right
Thank you.
here. How can people get involved in that?
Well, the easiest way is go to holisticactions.com and sign up for the free one-on-one course. That gives you the basis for the method that we just spoke about. And if you want even more, then you can sign up as a community member. There's a bunch of digital resources. We have weekly webinars. There's a 24/7 Q&A forum. So if you have any questions, you can ask on the forum, and myself and the other vets and other community members will chime in. And I apologize for my voice, but my brain and my respiratory muscles they're not connected real well.
Just
So
fine.
sorry
So,
about that.
what's one thing you would want to leave people with? If there was one thing you wish people understood, what would that be?
The one thing is that there is always another, there's more that you can do, that there is no one right answer to get outside to see nature, the beauty of nature, which basically is all that our pets need to heal, is to get out and sniff and engage and be happy, 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 happy.
Love that. Love that. There's nothing more to add. Thank you so much. And I can't wait to have you back, to be honest. I think there's so much more we need to talk about. So I really look forward to having you back. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review so other dog lovers can find the show. If you haven't already, head over to soultouchedbydogs.com and sign up for weekly doggy cuteness, tips, recommendations, and personal stories to warm your dog-loving heart. And if you know a pawsome human you think I should interview, I'd love an introduction. Email me at Anke, that's ANKE, @soultouchedbydogs.com.